Hello everyone, this is Brian from RADII. We're here in the beautiful Xizhou area, just outside of Dali in Yunnan province, right? As many of you may or may not know, Xizhou was part of the Nanzhao Kingdom at one point.
Yes.
Also a key point in the Tea-Horse Road trade route, which was like the Silk Road of the South. Also, even the Flying Tigers had a small base just not far from here. 6-minute walk, I think you said.
Yes.
Equally, if not more exciting for me today is to be here with Brian Linden. Brian Linden is the co-founder of the Linden Center. Brian is someone who comes from the United States, came to China in the early 80s, was the first American actor in a film here post-1949, a photojournalist with CBS, a PhD candidate at Stanford University, and many more things. And we're going to get into all of this. Brian, I think that the world should know a little bit more about your background. When I met you, I was just amazed by your whole experience before coming to China, and what you have today. So maybe you could just tell the audience a bit about yourself.
I come from a background where a father and a mother, a father who was illiterate and a mother who never finished high school. I was working 40 hours a week, at 16 years old. I ended up going to community college and cleaning carpets, spending most of my time cleaning carpets in Chicago, more than I was going to school. In 1983, I happened to be cleaning carpets while attending night school in a University of Chicago professor's home. And when I entered his home, I still remember so clearly in Hyde Park, I entered his home and there was a big map on the wall. And this guy was very proud. He was probably about 70 years old. And he said, "I just got back from China." He says, "You're a tall guy. Please help me put this red flag, on China." He had every place he had visited, he had flags. And I looked at the map and I had to tell him honestly, I said, "I don't know where it is." And he looked at me, he says, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 20 years old." And he said, "Is this all you want to do for the rest of your life, is clean carpets?" And I said, "Of course not, but I don't have many options."
Yeah.
I'm attending night school at Northeastern Illinois University. He says he just came back from China. And he said, China is going to change the world. And he said the government asked him to find some English teachers. My English was horrible. My English was really bad. And I told him China doesn't deserve an English teacher like me. But I said that I was very curious. It was the first time I ever spoke to somebody who spoke so directly and really questioned my values and questioned my future. The next day I went to the international office at Northeastern Illinois University, and I saw a poster there, study in China. The first time that the Chinese embassy was offering independent student scholarships to come to China. And I applied. I assumed China wouldn't want me. Man, America didn't want me. Why would China want me? But sure enough, they gave me the scholarship. So I vowed at that time that China, in some way, I would have to repay this country for giving me my only break in life. In many ways, the Linden Center, it's a love letter to China.
Tell us a little bit more about the site that we're at today, its history, and finally, what it is that you hope that people that visit here will take away with them after they kind of experience this beauty and this culture. And
So from '88 to 2006, I came back to China twice, or 2004, I'm sorry. And I told my wife in 2003, I said, I miss China. I'm doing all this cool stuff around the world because the break China gave me. And I said, in some way, I want both our children, who were 5 and 8 at the time, and the world to see China in a slightly different way. I have been to 110 countries. I would say 109 of them don't understand this country, and often have an arrogance or a superiority complex. And to me, it's really unfounded. I don't understand it completely, because what has happened over these 35 years is a miracle. Yeah, in 2003, we sold our house, we gave up our jobs, we brought over $600,000, all our savings, and we said, we're going to find a place that we can preserve, and we're going to create an intellectual retreat. And pretty naive. We looked for 2 years. We traveled around all of China looking for our first site. Spent time at Fujian's Tulou, Guangdong's Diaolou. We looked for his heritage sites that we felt needed some TLC. and did not need to be altered to cater to maybe the wealthier tastes of the, that was really, I think, pushing a more design-focused trend in hospitality. I felt that this, when we think of Venice, when we think of Florence, we're not going there to stay in uber luxurious, ultra, contemporary building. We're often there to experience the culture. I felt I wasn't willing to come here and try to change China, but what I wanted to do was kind of in some way restore and hopefully demonstrate, the importance and the value of what existed. So we looked, and this was our final choice. After looking around for 2 years, we decided that probably the best place to do it was in this small village of Xizhou. And there were many reasons. One, of course, is this incredible building.
Yeah.
It's a National Heritage Site.
Yeah.
2 is the support of the local government. Incredible, really open. And 3 is the people. Man, they're so open here and so 包容, they're so inclusive that I think that those three reasons made this a very easy decision for us as a family.
Well, tell us a little bit more about this idea of sustainability and how you integrate the community into, your projects. You have 50 staff that are actually from the local community.
On this one site.
In this one site, you have a number of other sites. But share with us kind of what does sustainability mean to you and why is that important?
I guess I viewed sustainability, I look at it in 3 ways. I look at the environmental sustainability, I look cultural and social. I feel that we around the world, and especially in China, we recognize the need for environmental sustainability. And that's manifested everywhere where you see, there's so many things that China is doing to help with environmental sustainability. I don't feel we completely acknowledge the value of our social and cultural resources. What we thought is that maybe we felt that with this growth in travel and tourism and hospitality, we felt that many of the benefits were not, accruing to the local people. That sometimes it was a design-focused kind of model that often was not focused on the indigenous, was often on the sexy and on the kind of flashy.
Yeah.
What we thought we could do is somehow just make the indigenous the focus, both structurally, our building, and intangibly, the local community. So we took over this old building with all its flaws, small rooms, bad going, horrible, soundproofing.
Yeah. Squeaky floors.
Squeaky floors, it's so hard. We're very much aware of that.
Yeah.
But we wanted it to become a center, wanted it to become a place of pride for the local community. We wanted people to come here not just for the building, but also for the way that we have kind of incorporated the community into our model. This site, as I said, has 16 guest rooms, about 50 staff. That's unheard of in the kind of hospitality industry for small hotels. The focus, every day we have 2 free tours with the locals. All kind of celebrations in the community are open to our visitors.
Yep.
We ask visitors in advance if they want to share with the community. So we have important people come here and they then can share their talents with the community. Wow. And we give them a free dinner.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. What we're trying to show is that when you come here, you too can share with the local community.
Huh. I mean, what are some things from your over 35 years of experience as an American living in China that you think, are important for these young people to really know about or understand about your experience, but also your perspective on how things are changing, not only in China, but the world as a whole?
I guess that our model is something that we really hope to be something that other people could consider. Yeah. Too many of us come to China right now and we spend our time mainly in the large cities. Yeah. And many of those cities, at least from my point of view, after a long time in China, have become very homogenous. I was in Beijing a few days ago. That most of my activities there kind of radiate around the coffee shops, or kind of we just spend time in little pockets of Western influence kind of. And what I'd like is for people to get out a little more, to realize that there's more to China than that. I'm not an apologist for China. I don't think China is a perfect country. But I know that America isn't. And I think it's very evident from what's happening. And it's very evident in so many ways in America. Yeah. I think that people pick and choose in China, and there's certain issues that they cling to without fully understanding them. Doesn't mean they're not wrong in their understanding. But it doesn't mean that 99.9% of China should then be dismissed. And the idea that we can divorce ourselves from interaction from China, it's just ridiculous.
Just decoupling.
Just decoupling and just sit back and preach to the choir at home. Sit there and tell, and then dismiss people like us who are trying to build bridges as being brainwashed, is to me ridiculous. I feel our greatest impact can happen by having people like us continuing to be here and being with the people.
So Brian, I want to actually ask you a question about something you said in the past. You said that China does not need more businessmen. It needs more dreamers, idealists, and cultural protectors. What did you mean by this?
What I was hoping to inspire is young people to pursue more of their passions in some way. I felt that over the last 35 years, I feel that many of the Chinese intellectuals have pursued security through financial means, and I understand that. It's very natural. China has come from a very impoverished background, and people were pursuing security, both for them and for their future family. But I do believe that the students now should be adjusting maybe their values a bit. China has achieved a certain level of affluence where they can now start dreaming. They should go out there. I believe that dreaming will lead to a China that may be a little bit softer in some way, and maybe something that will be embraced by the outside world in a slightly different way. I know this is very idealistic, but I do believe that, I hope that among the young people here in China, that their passions can in some way influence the outside world. I don't feel that the American model right now is showing us the greatest example. And I hope that in some ways maybe we in the States will be open to learning from other cultures. I see some really cool things that we could learn from this country. So I'm hoping that in some way some of the young people will inspire that type of sharing with the outside world, sharing more than just financial prowess, but sharing also some of the cultural and social values of this 5,000-year-old culture.
What are some things that people out there in the world can do to help you at the Linden Center? People here in China that are in the big cities that want to get a little more exposure to a place like this and kind of connect with the tradition and the culture, but also support the mission that you're trying to embody here at the Linden Center.
All I would encourage is, I would encourage the outside world to be a little more open and understanding of China, and not just view it with our Western glasses, or something, but also understand the challenges of 1.4 billion people living in a small mass of land. I think that the way that China is able to manage this population and manage this economic transformation, to me is remarkable. And what it means sometimes is maybe acknowledging in the outside world that other models in some ways do have some value, and that maybe we should be open to embracing that. I'm proud to be a part of China. I'm proud to be American. Maybe that's given me this drive, but at the same time, I'm even more proud to be a part of this 35-year transformation of China.